People may tell you how good and important iOS 5 was as an operating system, adding things like iCloud, iMessage, the notification center, and even Siri. But what they do not tell you is how you can make the most out of iOS 5 in 2026 and make it somewhat usable. So let's get into that. First of all, the very first thing you're going to want to do is jailbreak your device. Now, depending on what device you have, you may need a certain jailbreak. Now, there are two major jailbreaks for iOS 5, and that being Gilbert Jailbreak and Aquila. Now, Aquila I do not recommend for A5 and A5X devices due to having issues exploiting at the moment. Gilbert Jailbreak is overall much better for A5 devices because the exploit actually works. Now, I will leave guides for both of these jailbreaks down in the description. And after you've done that, let's get into some prerequisites to fixes and tweaks. Head into Safari and go put in tlsroot.liton.ca/. I will have this in the description as always. Go and get the signed iOS bundle for iOS 5 Plus. Install now, hit done. And now the reason we did this is because it will fix any issues you're having with Cydia, and this will help out with the App Store fix we're going to do in a moment. Also, upon opening Cydia, you'll probably get something saying like it's preparing Cydia and it'll reboot when done. Let that happen first before you do any of this, of course, because you won't be able to actually access Cydia until you do that. So anyway, go search up Substrate Safe Mode. Hit modify, install, confirm. You'll probably get prompted to restart your Springboard, of course. And now you may ask, what does this tweak even do? Well, it just basically implements a safety net into iOS where you can hop into a mode where no tweaks are installed to uninstall a bad tweak that may be giving you issues. To enter Substrate Safe Mode when you need to, just power off your device, and then when booting up again, just hold that volume up button the whole entire time until you boot into Substrate Safe Mode. And this is worth doing because you're skipping annoying things like doing a restore with blobs, and instead you can just boot into Substrate Safe Mode and uninstall a bad tweak. Now let's get into how you can install apps on here and also fix the App Store. Now I don't really recommend using the App Store as a method of installing apps because you cannot really select a certain version and are forced to use random ones. And a lot of them will not download because even like with Checkmate Store or A Downgrader, you can't get certain apps because they've taken all the old versions off of the App Store basically. We will go over a better way on how to get apps basically, and it's with a tweak called Viteris. Now Viteris is basically an alternate app store for iOS. To get Viteris, just of course hop into Cydia, go to your Sources tab, hit Edit and Add, and you're going to input this repo right here, yzoo.mo/dev/. And once you've added this repo, you're going to go into it, you're going to hit all packages, and you're going to find Viteris. So you're just going to go in here, hit modify, install, confirm, make sure to restart your Springboard. And once you've done that, to use Viteris, all you got to do is open up the app, of course. And by the way, if you have issues installing apps with this method, just reboot your device because it's very common for AppSync to not work off the bat on this thing. So to get an app, you can just go search it up, of course. I'm probably going to get, I don't think I have Fruit Ninja on here, so I'm going to go search up Fruit Ninja HD, and I'm going to grab whatever version I want here. And this is how it works. And so you just click on that, and to check if it is working, you go to More, Queue, and you see if it's installing. So you can also see other past things I've installed, although this doesn't stay there forever. And just like that, I installed Fruit Ninja on this thing. And let's see if the app works. Because a good bit of times these apps aren't cracked and they just don't work. So if that happens, you can just go ahead and try a different app. And I will also be showing you another method, which is overall better because it tells you whether the app is cracked or not. So let's see if this one even works. Okay, so I bet I can just hit continue here. And yeah, looks like it's working fine, as you can very much see. Now you may ask, what is that better method that I was just talking about? Well, it's with a site called iPhoneOSobscura.liton.ca/. This will also be in the description. I'll put it up on the screen here. And this is basically Viteris, but a website, and it has a much bigger selection of apps and a lot more versions of apps on here. So like if you just search up Minecraft and Viteris, for example, you'll not have nearly as many options as I have here for Minecraft. So to install a app from here, of course, I'm going to go find one that I don't have installed. So Minecraft Pocket Edition Lite, right? I'm going to install this. So to install it, I just go to like whatever version I want here, and I recommend always using the proxy to install. And also, you will probably commonly see things on certain versions like it says encrypted. Do not install these as they just do not work because they're not cracked and they will not load at all. So it's better unlike Viteris where it doesn't tell you. So I just recommend trying the proxied install, but it's very common for that to not work, so you can try direct install, and it looks like direct install is the one that's working for me today. And another disclaimer about iPhone OS Obscura.lit.ca, it is very common for it to go down and do things like this. It may take a ton of tries for something to successfully install. Let's see if I can get this to work, because I do know with my past experience, it takes like 20 tries for it to actually work and actually load up here. So let me zoom in a little bit. Not connect to proxy server.lin.ca. Okay, looks like it's down at the moment. I'm gonna try like 20 more times. I'll probably throw it in here just to show you what's happening as I try this. Because I knew my solution before this was I would do like 80 tries and it eventually would work, but it looks like it's not working today. Oh, never mind. There we go. We have Minecraft PE Lite installed on here. And yeah, it just took 20 tries for it to install. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is that iPhone OS Obscura, although it is better and has a much bigger selection of apps, it is also very unreliable due to it going down very frequently. So if it is down, just go use Viteris, although Viteris will not have nearly as many apps to choose from. Now let's get into fixing the App Store. As we all know, it does not work natively. Now this method shown will only work for iOS 5.1x, and I'm on iOS 5.1x because I'm on an iPad 3. As 5.0x requires a proxy server and really isn't even worth it, because all this really is for show when the better method is side loading. So to fix the App Store, just head into Cydia, of course. Go to Sources, Edit and Add, and you're going to add a couple repos. So the first one I recommend you get is cydia.skyglow.es/ and just hit add source on that. Okay, can now return to Cydia. And now I'm going to add another cydia.invoxyplaygames.uk/. Okay, I'm just going to add that source, of course. And get the final one from cydia.nekokawa.net/ and just add source. And now you can return to Cydia. So what I recommend you do is just go ahead into Nekokawa's repo, and what you're going to want to do is grab store login fix. And I believe this will queue up a ton of tweaks at once, and I guess it's not. So you're just going to go queue up store login fix from Nekokawa's repo. Next one you're going to queue up is store etc fix. So install, continue queue that, and now you're done with Nekokawa's repo. You don't need anything else from here. So head back to your main sources page here, and you're going to go to Skyglow's Cydia repo, hit all packages. You're going to scroll down until you find iTunes Store X. You're going to hit modify, downgrade, and you're going to grab version 2.5, and then you're going to queue that up. And then you're going to go back here, go to Invoxy Play Games' repo, and grab Checkmate Store. And then finally, you can just hit modify, install, confirm on all of these, and now they will all install at once. So I'm just going to restart my Springboard now. Okay, now let's go check out if the App Store works. And it may say stuff like that, like on the feature tab. It is very buggy. Not everything will work, but you can see stuff like the top charts tab works. And now I will be showing you how to sign into the App Store, because believe it or not, you can do that. So go into settings, of course, go to store, and you're going to sign in. You're going to use an existing Apple ID because I assume you already have one. You're going to put in your email right here, put in your password, of course. You're going to get a verification code pop up on your other phone. So take that verification code and put it on the end of your passcode. So let me go sign into my Apple ID and I'll come back to you. And I'm going to blur my Apple ID here, but I'm successfully signed into the App Store. So let's go try out and install an app, and I'll just show you how a good bit of this stuff just doesn't download. So let me see if I can think of one that will probably support iOS 5. But the method I recommend anyway is going into your purchase tab, download anything that you've downloaded in the past from here. So I'm going to try to get Doodle Jump HD, and I'm going to see if this has, yeah, and you're going to get a thing that says download an older version of this app. This current version requires iOS 8 or later, blah, blah, blah. Just hit download. And let's see if it actually installed. And it looks like it is successfully downloading the app, which is what you want to see. Okay, and looks like we've installed Doodle Jump, and let me prove to you that it works. Although it looks like the ads are not working because this is a very old version. I believe this also fixes the iTunes Store if you are curious about that. So let's go check out the iTunes Store right now. And it's gonna say stuff like that, so expect it. So what I'm trying to say is do not use this as a reliable method of installing apps and even using the iTunes Store. Just get it on, just get iTunes on your computer and sync with your device. You don't wanna do that on here because it just won't work properly. And the next thing we are going to do is sign into iMessage and iCloud. Now, know how we signed into the App Store a second ago? Well, you can use that same method to get an iMessage and iCloud. So just sign in normally and you'll get a thing asking for verification and put in that code on the end of your passcode, of course. And now for iMessage, it may take extra things like asking whether it wants to use your phone number or your iCloud or whatever. That's all up to you. But now to prove that this works, let me go sign into this stuff and I'll show you. Okay, first of all, here is iCloud and yeah, you can see everything's on here. I'm gonna blur my iCloud, of course. Looks like I'm having issues directly signing into iMessage from settings, so let me try it in the Messages app. I do know this works on other things in iOS 5, but it may be unreliable. And yeah, I get the same thing in iMessage there. If that happens to you, I don't assume you're actually going to be using iMessage, so you could probably skip over this because I don't really know any other fix that you could try, unless you have a SIM card and you're in a country where 3G exists and you're going to put a SIM card in there. But I don't have that because I'm in America. But I've gotten this to work on one of my other iOS 5 iPad 3s, so I do know this method does work. It just may be unreliable, so take note of that. Now let's get into other various fixes that just makes iOS 5 a lot more usable. Let's start off with fixing the YouTube app. Now we're not going to be using the normal YouTube app that's already here, as the tweak we are going to be using does not work with the normal YouTube app, and we're going to have to install one from Viteris. So just go into Viteris, go search up YouTube, grab version 1.3.0, okay, and it's just installed. And this will not work natively, so if you go try to open it up, you'll be greeted with error loading, tap to retry. So we're going to fix that. Head into Cydia, of course. You're gonna go into sources as usual, hit edit, add, and you're gonna add a repo, and this repo is cydia.preloading.dev/ and just hit add source. Once you've added that, return to Cydia, of course. You're now going to open a preloadings repo, go to all packages, go to tube replacer, and you're going to hit modify, install, confirm on this one, and it will now install in a second. And yeah, you can see it just works. And you can actually sign in, and that's the really cool thing about Tube Replacer over something like Tube Repair. Although you can't really get the normal YouTube app working because I think it uses like completely different APIs and stuff like that compared to this YouTube app that you download separately. So yeah, go and sign in normally like this. So just hit sign in there and go put in your Google information. I'm going to go sign into one of my YouTube accounts and I'll come back to you. And yeah, just like that, I'm signing in my second account. The next thing we will do is fix Safari. Well, mostly. You see, Safari will always be broken on iOS 5 due to the WebKit version and TLS protocols being very outdated, so a good bit of websites will not load properly or at all due to this. But this will at least let you search again. So let's go fix it. First of all, go hop into settings. Safari, set your search engine to Bing. And just like that, your Safari should now work. So let me go see if I can search up my YouTube channel or something like that. So yeah, you can see it somewhat loads. I don't know who these other people are. They're not me. I only have the one that I see that are owned by me is the TikTok and the one Twitter thing I see here. But you can see it's very broken. You can try though, if that doesn't work, is you can go into Viteris and you can go search up Opera Mini. So grab this. I believe the version that you should get is like this one, so give it a try. There's multiple versions that you can choose from. It really doesn't matter. This one appears to be loading. Now this is Opera Mini 7, I think. So let me go search up CertifiedLegacy. This one should load better versus the actual Safari. Yeah, you can see my other stuff is all right here. And it works better than like Safari because you can actually use Google natively on here, which is pretty cool. Now the next thing we're going to do is fix the weather and stocks app. Now, of course, this isn't on iPad, so just skip ahead to the next chapter if you're on iPad. So go ahead and hop into Cydia. Open up that Skyglow Cydia repo we just got. Go in here and you're gonna want to grab WeatherX. Now this will also queue up another tweak called StocksX, which will also fix the classic Stocks app. Now, I would recommend turning on location services if you want your weather to be more accurate to where you are. But let me show you. So I can see Cupertino's weather here and it loads up fine. Same thing with stocks. The next one is dark mode for iOS 5. So just go ahead and open up Cydia as usual. And you don't have to add any repos for this. What you're gonna want to do is just go to the search tab and you're gonna search up f.lux. And you're just gonna hit modify, install, you know the whole thing. confirm. Okay, and now I can just return to Cydia. And so it's accurate on your location. Make sure location services is on. You just go ahead and open it up. Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to show you, but it wants me to turn on location services, and then I just go back and I open up f.lux, and it's going to ask for my current location, and I hit OK. The reason we do this is so Flux knows when to switch on day and night mode. Now, once you've done this, to adjust settings like that, go into settings, go to lighting, and you can switch daytime to like midday sun. You can change night to like candle, which is way too warm for me, but yeah, that's how that works. The next stuff is completely optional, but just kind of enhances your iOS 5 experience a bit and makes it more fun to use. The first thing I recommend you do is get some stuff on iTunes, as I recommended earlier, and just sync it up with your device. Now you can do this and kind of use your device as an iPod, unless you're actually using an iPod. And you can do the same thing for stuff like wallpapers and other stuff. Next one I'm going to show you is Zeppelin and Cylinder. I wouldn't really recommend trying this on iPad, but I'm going to anyway. I'll probably show you why you shouldn't do Zeppelin and Cylinder on iPad. It modifies the springboard and messes things up. And yeah, you can just continue queue one of them and then install firm on this one, and it's now going to install both of these at once. What these tweaks essentially do is it gives you cool home screen animations and a cool like carrier logo up here. You can adjust these in settings, of course, by finding them in extensions. For Cylinder, you just go into effects and then you can select whatever effect you want. You can just don't choose multiple at once, it looks bad. Zeppelin, you go in here, click theme, and yeah, you can also get more carrier packs from Cydia if you need that. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this on iPad because there's a chance it messes up your springboard and makes your device think it's an iPod. But you can still try it anyway. We have substrate safe mode installed for a reason, and if something goes wrong, you can just go and uninstall it. But usually that doesn't go in effect until you do like a reboot. But yeah. Anyway, that's how you make the most out of iOS 5 in 2026. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, subscribe with notifications on, sharing this to someone that finds this interesting or helpful, try out the hype feature as it helps out the video and the channel, and check out my social media accounts, which I'll have in the description and in the end card. I have a Twitter, a TikTok, a second YouTube channel, and a Reddit. But anyway, this has been Derek from CertifiedLegacy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
What we do here is go back.